Hello everyone, this is me Manita, your host for today. Hope you all are doing good. But if you ask me, I am super duper nervous. I'm sitting for this recording after such a long time that I'm thinking that I might have a panic attack right now. I'm actually worried. But good thing I have an amazing co-host with me.
Hey, hi, I'm Aayushama and Manita. Both of us are in the same plane. I'm also equally nervous, but at the same time, I'm confident about this episode as well because we are joined by two super talented and beautiful ladies, and I already know that this one is going to be very exciting.
Yes, and also because today we are going to talk about fun stuff, something we all like doing, right? Today we are busting myths about medical students' life, medical school, and I'm sure that you all are going to find it quite relatable.
So, firstly, we would like to introduce our guest for this episode. We have amazing Asmita Verma from Gandaki Medical College. So, Ashmita, would you like to tell us more about yourself?
Hello all, I am Asmita Verma, currently pursuing my fourth year medical studies at Gandaki Medical College, Pokhara. I am a girl who loves traveling and interacting with people. Thank you for having me as one of your guests. I am really looking forward to both these myths we have encountered as a medicos together.
Hi, Asmita, it's so kind of you. We are so glad to have you here. So another guest we have is Natasha, and I'll be addressing her as Tas, which she prefers. Okay, so she's from King's College, London, and a fourth year medical student right now. Would you like to tell us more about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So thanks, guys, for inviting me. It's really exciting to talk to you guys all the way over in Nepal. I'm in London in the UK, as you said, studying medicine as well at King's College London. I am a massive mental health advocate, so I try and widen the conversation, normalize the conversation around mental illness, especially as medical students. And yeah, I'm really excited to talk about these myths that definitely aren't true.
So, we welcome both of you in our podcast and thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us. Now, why don't we start with the most popular statement that we have to hear now and then, and somehow even we find it difficult too. So, it's all about like doctors have very crappy handwriting and they are taught to write like that. Is it?
I think I should go first, like because even I don't have a good handwriting, a handwriting that if people look at it, they won't be excited and all like oh my god, this is such a good handwriting. I don't have a handwriting like that, so I'm quite worried that in my clinical practice, if I will suddenly start writing like those crappy handwritings, which I always fear, like I have memories from my childhood when people used to talk about doctors. They always used to complain about their handwritings, right? So I'm quite worried about that already, and I'm trying to improve. I don't know about you guys, like Osmita, Das. What do you think about it? I don't know, Das, if you find it relatable.
I think this is the one myth that probably isn't as applicable here. I think it definitely used to be a myth probably 50 years ago, but I think because doctors are using sort of computers and technology more so to write up their notes and things, I don't think you hear people complaining about it as much. Having said that, when I was on my hospital placement, especially in sort of second year, and I was trying to read through doctors' notes about patients and what they were in hospital with. I just couldn't understand any of them, so it was a bit useless. So yeah, it definitely is an issue. I think doctors are rushed for time, but I don't think you have to have messy handwriting on purpose.
Even I believe so before joining medicine. People used to tell doctors have very crappy handwriting, and I believed it too. When I used to try reading the prescription, I used to wonder what is that. Don't I get it? The words I haven't read it, or what is that? Now, yes, I believe it. It is truly a it is truly a myth that exists everywhere. After joining, it has proved that it's just a myth and doctors don't have crappy handwriting. That's it.
Also, I'd like to add something. The funny part is that people say that they are taught to write like that, and I think that's completely wrong. We are never taught to write like that. Plus, some terms that are totally clear to medical expert or like medical student, it might like leave like common layman people to scratch their head because that are medical terms and that are difficult to understand as a common people.
Exactly, right? But for now, rather than complaining that we do have bad handwriting, we really need to aspire to write at least clearly, right? So that we don't get into troubles. Um, Also, get into this cases of medical negligence.
Exactly. And also, it just cut down the chances of lost in translation error, right?
Hmm.
I don't know whether it stems from the fact that in the UK, doctors used to write in Latin quite a long time ago. So obviously, most of the patients couldn't understand their prescriptions or other notes because they were written in a different language. So that might be adding to it. But I think when I was applying to medical school, my parents thought I had to speak Latin or at least like understand the language. So I think that's a bit of a myth as well in the UK because you definitely don't need to know Latin.
Wow, that's interesting.
So I think like we should move on to the next meet right now.
Sure,
What do you
yeah.
think?
Yeah, so the next myth we are going to talk about is, we seldom hear that after we get into medical school, our social life is over. We need to give up our hobbies, and we really don't have any free time, right? So, what do you guys think about it?
No, I was just going to say that this is kind of a topic very close to my heart, and
Exactly.
um, I think this is something that's definitely a myth in the UK, and I worry that it puts some sort of school or high school students off from applying for medicine because they think all they'll have to do is study. And actually, I think the best doctors and the happiest and healthiest doctors are the ones that have a work-life balance. So they have hobbies, they have things that they do after work to de-stress and to relax. And actually, I think, yeah, if you can do that all throughout medical school, you definitely can do that. And I think it comes down to um, whether you prioritize scoring slightly less maybe in an exam, scoring 80% rather than 90%, and actually being happy and being able to have a social life outside of medicine, which is really important to get through it. It's a long course and it's a long career, so you'll just burn out and crash if you don't.
So true, right? Uh, Before coming into med school, I also used to think that when I get into medicine, I won't have any time for doing what I enjoy doing. But after coming here, I've realized that it's all about time management. I was talking about the same with Asmita also before, and as Stas said, it's a long life. Because we are going to do this for the whole of our life, and saying that we just focusing on our work and studies, this is actually going to stress us. And Asmita, what do you think?
I have a story. You guys won't believe what happened to me before I joined. One of my relatives, before joining, he told me that, so it's up to you whether you choose this profession where there is no social life. You won't have time of your own, nor for your hobbies, nor for your family, and not for your friends. Or you choose a profession, any profession where you get a social life. That back then I was young, but but in my I had to do something, and I said I wanted to become a doctor then. And I said, okay, if it's so, then I will leave my hobbies and everything, but I want to be a doctor. And after I joined, I believe that it was nothing like that. People say, oh, we look up to the doctors and seeing them in the hospital day and night. We 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 do think that, oh, they are very busy, they don't have life of their own, they have dedicated their life for the service and all. But now I feel that it's nothing like that. It's just about time management and doing the work, but not but managing the time. So it's a myth that only a medico can understand. Why the outsiders just get it, saying that they don't have, but we are, I think we are the one who enjoy the life the most, who live their dreams.
I completely agree with you, Ashmita, because I personally am a person who enjoys a lot of extracurricular activities and would love to indulge myself in the hobbies that I'm really interested in, because it just relieves the stress that I'm going through while studies or any other like important tasks that I'm doing. And looking at Natasha herself or like many other medical students, there are a lot of people who are involved in a lot of activities while doing great in studies. So it's all about time management. If we all are able to manage workload and fun at the same time, then I think it's definitely yes, that our social life, our hobbies, and like our time and everything, it will just go like right on place and we'll enjoy at the same time.
And guys, Asmita is traveling right now. She's having the best time for last some months. She was studying, right? So now she's having her vacation and enjoying. So yeah, she's
Yes,
having
I
her
am.
life.
I truly am. I'm enjoying my life.
Yeah, that's really cool. But also, like, not only just in the medical studies, if we look at like other field as well, and no matter like whatever you do, we are not able to do all the things at the same time. Like, sometimes we might not be able to hang out with our like in every occasion or like with our friends in family gatherings. But like, it doesn't mean that we are never going to see them. Uh, so I think our social life and everything, it's not over. We medical student, like Ashmita said, like medical student are the one that who enjoys our studies and our other hobbies like like very happily, I think.
That's true, right? So we just busted this myth that we do and proved that we do have a social life. We do take out our time for our hobbies. We do things that we enjoy the most, and we do travel. We do gather. We do have fun.
Yay, we do.
Yeah,
Now, shall we jump to like next myth? Uh, okay.
yeah, sure.
So people say that we must be like a medical student must be incredibly intelligent. So do you think like this statement is true?
I really hope it's not, otherwise I'm a bit stuffed. But no, I think there's so much more to a good medical student and later on a good doctor than just intelligence. There are so many other qualities that you need to have. You need to be able to listen to your patients and have good communication skills. Otherwise, you won't be able to find out what's wrong with your patients and what you can do to help. Um, and at the end of the day, as a doctor, you have colleagues, you have books, you have the internet to help you, and you definitely don't need to know everything. I think one thing in the UK is that at medical school, most students are trying to become sort of consultants in every single medical specialty. So I don't know if it's the same for you guys in Nepal, but consultants are like the top level of doctor. Um, so but actually we're just learning to be junior doctors, and we definitely don't need to know everything, would be my answer. So no, that's definitely a myth in my eyes, and I hope it is a myth.
Besides about being extremely intelligent, I believe that there are things like hardworking, things that medical student must possess are hardworking, patience, and persistence. Living same life for almost 5 to 6 years, it's not very easy at all. But we need to deal with everything that comes to us. Now, indulging yourself in whatever you love is the only way to become the to pass out this medicine within the limited time. And I don't totally agree saying that it is only the intelligence that leads to pass this medicine, but it is all about loving loving the reading, enjoying about medicine, enjoying about your enjoying about your daily activity, whatever you have, just enjoying in it.
So exactly, Ashmita, hard work definitely beats anything. I think either it may be a talent or it may be an intelligent quotient that people put on. Hard work is something, and persistently working on the thing that you want to do. It's something that we should never forget. If we enjoy the thing that we are doing, we definitely are going to excel in in whatever field. Either it may be a medical field or like any other field, we are going to excel in that, and that is a key thing that we all should understand.
Yes, true, right? Intelligence might help you in some aspects of this life, but it's, as Osmita said, it's all about persistence and your dedication. Doing something for such a long time definitely need more than intelligence.
So I think we can also like leave a note to the like newcomers or the newly
Right.
students. So newcomers or new students that are coming to the medical student who are just preparing for their entrance examination. They think that like all the medical students that have entered in the like this field, they are very intelligent, but that's not the case. Even an average person can excel. Like all of us are saying that hard work and enjoying the thing that we do, it's something that is necessary. And I think people who are toppers or the student who are toppers, people think that they are the only one to get into the medical field, but that's completely wrong. And you should not be incredibly intelligent to go to like med school. Yeah, I think we have busted this one as well.
Yeah, right.
Hard work. Sure.
Okay, so next one that I have is medical. So that, and this, the myth that I'm going to say now is something that I even got it from the Instagram as well. Like we had posted a question in the Instagram story and people had responded. So it was in there as well. So next myth that we're going to bust is medical students are very disciplined and have very strict routine. So what do you think about this?
I think like one of you guys was saying earlier, I can't remember who it was, that time management skills are helpful and are useful to manage university and your studies as well as your co-curricular activities. But I think it's a myth that every medical student has their life completely together and is like super hardworking all the time. I think it's only natural that we're going to have days where we can't be bothered to study. Um, and I think allowing that is actually really important. I think you'll be a lot more motivated with your studies if you just have a day off if you're not feeling it. Um, yeah, you can't be completely organized and hardworking every single day. And yeah, I think we all like Netflix just as much as anybody else. Well, at least I do.
So I like to add like some point from my personal experience that I have seen so far. In we stay in hostel, right? So sometimes there are instances where like we wake up 15 minutes earlier to the lecture and get ready and rush towards the lecture hall. And I think that doesn't count like we have a very strict routine. And I think Manita, can you relate with that? That most of us, like from our batch, like it happens a lot of the time.
Exactly. Like if I'm someone who does that, so I can completely relate to this. I wake up so late. My room partner has to wake me up every morning. Um, so I so I just wake up almost like nowadays I've become a bit good. I wake up almost about 30 to 40 minutes earlier, but there has been instances where I actually have woken up 15 to 20 minutes early and then rush towards everything. I need to eat my breakfast, need to get ready to school and then run. So I can completely relate to this. But
Exactly.
what I also want to add is, having said this, there are also people who are actually disciplined. They follow their routine, so I would say that it's more of our individual personality, like how we are, rather than saying, putting all the medical students in the same bag. It's more about individual's personality.
So I think we are disciplined, we do have certain routine, but not very strictly like people imagine in their head, like in a way that they have imagined, I think. So most of us, we might have gone through this experience, I think. Okay, so our family members, they expect us to be doctors and diagnosed right away. So like, have you had any experience like this?
Yes. So I don't have any other doctors or healthcare professionals in my family. And so yeah, and my none of my family really like going to see the doctor. So they definitely used to turn to me a lot more, even when I was absolutely clueless. I think it's really interesting actually because as doctors in the UK, especially, I don't know how it is for you guys in Nepal, but it's definitely against our guidelines and sort of ethical principles and being a doctor that we can't give medical advice to friends and family, even when we're qualified. Um, so yeah, it's definitely happened to me a lot, even when I don't know anything.
Very frequently I get to this. My relatives, even the friends who are non-medicals, I frequently encounter this situation. I don't know what to tell, how to deal with this, how to make them realize that I'm just a medical student, and I just tell them, I prepare myself how to convince them that I am a medical student. I need to tell them something, but what do I do? I they tell certain symptoms, and I just uh, I tell about them the disease. I know the symptoms, and uh, very common diseases symptoms we are used to, and we know about them because we encounter it daily. Now what I do is, they I think and at last I just tell them, so we need to concern to the doctor, where we are just told, we are just taught about symptoms, and we need to concern to the doctor about this. Simply, it's very difficult when it comes to medical, when this situation comes. And and always before going to anywhere, I will prepare myself. Oh, for all cool, we need to tell this. And I think she has my this relative has this symptom. Now for this knee pain, I need to relate this with these diseases. It might be uric gout, or it might be rheumatoid arthritis. Okay, I will tell her certain things. Now yes, I think we all know how difficult it has been for us.
Right, yes, and it gets so awkward at times, you know. And for me, it's rather than my family members, it's more like people from the community or the relatives, because my family kind of understand that I'm just a student and I really don't know anything. I have a long way to go, so they are quite understanding. And but when it comes to relatives and the other people in the society, so I get into trouble at times. But yes, but as Hospita said, I think we kind of find this defensive mechanism to safeguard ourselves and then come out of that situation. But yes, we do get this quite often. So okay, the another myth that I have is quite funny. I don't know if I can say this funny or not, but it says that medical students study a lot, and they just study and they don't do nothing else, and will get old studying. So, what do you have to say about this?
Regarding study, without studying we won't pass. Well, we won't ever if we don't study, but we do study but not that much as people think. They ask me, people always ask me, at what time do you wake up, what time do you sleep? And I don't know how to answer it. I say, oh, maybe I don't know. It depends on if I am studying, what I am studying. It depends on how was my day, how did I study, or how much did I study during the day. But I know my inner self know how I study. I don't know about other guys, but other friends and I have some people, yes, some there are some friends who study, they study, they are regular, they study regularly in the morning, in the evening, they have their routine. But also there are some friends, or even myself, I am one of the kind who study who study I'm not a regular one, but when the exam comes, or when it's about test, or when it's about being when it's about presentation or anything that where it needs to be studied, I do my best. And when it comes to exam, I feel like, I personally feel like, yes, I am doing medical, I am a medical student, because in during that time I forget about everything that is around, everything about my social life, my family, my friends, and that time is just my study time. And study time, we study, but not the way people think we study.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell people that I like to treat medical school like a job. So I try and study from 9 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I try not to work at the weekends unless, like you previously said, I have an exam upcoming or an assignment or something important. I think for me, that's just a way of managing my time, and then I'm allowing myself enough breaks and rest. I think one thing that can be really difficult at medical school is comparing yourself to other students and how much work they're doing. And I think once you realize that it's quality of studying over quantity of studying, just because somebody has told you that they've spent all night in the library or all day in the library, it doesn't mean that they've actually learned more than you, even if you've just studied for 4 hours a day, because it's, yeah, definitely quality over quantity is what I've learned over the last few years. So you definitely don't need to study all the time.
This is so interesting. Like I had never thought it like this, thinking it as a job. I really like this idea.
Yeah, it's nice because I live with my boyfriend and he has a job, so
Hmm.
that helps me as well. And I think routine at medical school can be really useful. Rather than one day waking up at 7 a.m. and the next day waking up at 11 a.m. That's
Right.
something that I definitely used to do in my first year. But
Uh-huh.
now, as I've done a few years, I'm trying to stay away from that. Yeah.
It just adds a time for yourself. I think if we follow like what Natasha said, it adds time to do like extra thing that we want to do. And also the field that we are in, the medicine field that we all have chosen, it's something, it demands a lot of dedication, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and persistently working on that to reach the goal to become the best doctor of the people, or to serve the country or the people in the best way that we can. So it definitely demands a lot of studies, but if we manage and enjoy it in a proper way, I think it's not that we just have to like study whole night or something like panic or something like that. It definitely is not that. And also getting old is a process like everyone has to go through, and education is something that we all can't deny. We have to study for lifelong. I think it's something, it just provides enlightenment about the studies or the subject matter that we all are going through. And also in that way we can prescribe and look after our patient in a good way in the future.
Exactly, and I think it sums it all. Like studying is important, but we also need to have time for ourselves, right? Uh, so I think we need to move to another. Let's see.
Yes. So this one is like really interesting and really funny at the same time. I think people say that people vomit and faint in the dissection class. Like, has it like ever happened with your classmates?
So in our first week of medical school, we had our first full body cadaver dissection, and somebody did actually faint, but that was just the once, and I think they were just too scared to say they were feeling a bit faint or dizzy, so they didn't sit down or leave, which was a bit silly. Um, I don't know whether this is the case for you, but the formaldehyde that they use to like preserve the bodies Everybody says that it makes them hungry, which is really disturbing. That apparently, like, the chemical makes you hungry. I don't know whether you have that.
Asmita, have you had any different experience?
No, though I have heard that people will faint even in the autopsy room. The teachers and our seniors used to tell, "I fainted." One of our friends fainted, and I was waiting. Who will be the one? I was wondering if I would be that one now. So luckily or sadly, I don't know what to say, but till date I haven't encountered it. Not even in the dissection hall. Not till now. We saw it, the strong smell of that formaldehyde or formalin. What is that? In the anatomy during the basic science, or in the clinical in the autopsy room. No, till date I haven't seen it.
I think you should feel
Uh,
lucky about it.
so it's totally a myth. Now I am clear that it's a myth. Till a year back, I was wondering if it's true, but now I should say it's a myth.
Yes, but before entering to the section hall, like during my first year, I did heard like rumor that people will faint or people will vomit from my, I don't know, I cannot just particularly mention like who was that. I would say that it was more of a rumor. And so I was kind of bit reluctant and afraid that will that really happen to me as well. But when I entered, when I saw the environment in the practical hall, people were more of like curious about the human anatomy, human body. Like it was definitely a cringe movement because we were touching the live human body, bones and everything. But I don't think so that like any one of my mates or my batchmates they fainted. Rather they were like super excited and like keen to learn more about like anatomy of a person. But that formalin smell, that is like too harsh to handle sometimes.
Right, so we only have one myth left. So it's about doctors only date doctors. Okay, so or medical students only date medical students. So would any one of you like to comment on this?
I think I already busted this myth.
Yeah.
My boyfriend is definitely not a medical student. My boyfriend is a trainee solicitor. I don't think all medical students or all doctors date each other. I think it depends on you personally. For me, I think it's nice to have a break from medicine, and I think it would be very intense if all you spoke about was medicine and that kind of stuff. But I can see why medical students and doctors end up together, because you spend a lot of your time at medical school or a lot of your time working as a doctor. So naturally, the people that you're going to be around are, yeah, doctors. But you definitely don't have to. I know lots of people that um, aren't with a medical student or doctor.
Yes, and I think it also adds colors to your life, right? Like, um, it will be more fun discussing different stuff rather than discussing the same thing. Uh, but I'm not countering to the fact that two medical students or two doctors can't be a good uh, couple or good partners.
Medico and non-medico can be a they go very well, the combination. One of my friends boyfriend is a student of computer engineer, I think. And he always helps my friend with with her the assignments and the projects. I think that one is better because going to the same seat, both of them it is better, no? Both it is better than if you both are going to the same seat. But if we are dating a non-medical, then we will get to know about the other profession. We will have the friends of outside. It's better, I think.
Yes, definitely we'll get to explore about the other profession as well. And also, I think being from the same profession, it's very difficult to commit the time together because our profession does definitely demand a lot of time commitment. So if two people that are from the different profession, like medicals and non-medicals, I think they can be more compatible, I think, because they can give each other more time and they will understand about each other, I think. So I think that would be a very good pair, like medicals, non-medicals, and also I would go for like a medical doctor and doctor as well, because I have seen that, and so I really admire that as well. But it's completely a myth that doctors only date doctors. It definitely is a myth.
Yeah, so we busted that as well, right?
Yay.
Okay, so we really are, we have completed busting all the myths that we had. So if you'd like to add something more, like task, you being from UK, if you have something that's more relatable to that part of the world, please go ahead.
No, I think it's just pretty much everything we've spoken about. I think the biggest myth here in the UK is that doctors and medical students don't have a life outside of medicine and their job, which, as we've discussed, definitely isn't true. Um, yeah, but yeah, it's been great chatting to you guys. I really enjoyed it.
Yes, same here. It was so fun. And I am so glad that seeing, the enthusiasm and how actively you participated in talking and busting this myth. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everyone who are listening to us right now. So, lastly, continue doing what you guys do. You are such a brave woman, both of you, and continue doing what you do. I wish you all the best with everything that you wish. Lastly, thank you everyone for listening. We'll come back with another episode, another fun episode soon. Till then, have a good time. Bye bye.